Hi there, this is Manish Vijay from PM Pulse bringing to you yet another episode on PM Ninja video series. In this particular video, I would really like to discuss something about the concept of team. There are a lot of books written about it. There are a lot of discussions that people have, but it seems everybody seems to have a different version of the meaning of the term team. Whereas the real meaning of the team is quite straightforward, albeit it may be difficult to actually formulate a good high-performing team, but the definition of it is quite straightforward, something that we are going to get into in this particular video. So keep watching. You see, the moment we start talking about team, images of sports, people working together to achieve glory comes to your mind. Depending on the nation that you are in and the sport that is very famous in your nation, the pictures would be similar to that. You would think about the glory moments of your favorite team. Well, yes, that is an example of a team, but is that the only example of a team? Absolutely not. Your own family is a fantastic example of team. So what we need to understand is what is really the meaning of the term called team. How do we formulate a good team? Now, when we talk about the term team, people come out, especially books and a lot of management circles, simply talk about a group of people come together for a common objective. And they think that that's the definition of the term team. Absolutely incorrect. Everybody works together. Even if people working in an organization for a singular objective of making this organization greater, more competitive, well, that rarely happens, right? Just because people are thinking that way, they are working together, does not necessarily make them a team. So what really makes them a team? Yes, we need the basic ingredients, and that is we need a group of people. We need them to be working together virtually or physically, doesn't really matter. And they need to have a singular objective, a common objective that all of them are aligned to. But that alone does not make the team. That just makes any group of people trying to work together. And that's actually also the reason that we have a lot of dysfunctional team. Dysfunctional team would not mean that they don't have a common objective. It's just that their version of how do they achieve those objectives is different from everybody else. And therefore, what you have is a dysfunctional team. A dysfunctional team does not mean that there are not good people in it. Yes, they are one of the best people. Yet, despite that, you have dysfunctional families, you have dysfunctional teams, you have dysfunctional sports teams, you have dysfunctional political teams who have been working like crazy but don't achieve the results that they set out to. And therein comes a big difference. That in order to become team, you have to have one more important element that nobody looks into, and that is called mutual accountability. Yes, you've heard me right. Mutual accountability. What does that really mean? Mutual accountability is when you actually take accountability for the entire project and every other person within that particular team as if it was your own work. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have your sponsor coming up to you and asking you, listen, I heard that there are a lot of problems with your testing. There are a lot of defects being found in your testing and we are not happy with your testing. It seems there are massive issues with your testing. If the first thing that you end up saying is, Mr. Sponsor, I think you got me wrong. I'm in the development team. I'm not in the testing team. That's the quality guys. The moment you do that, you are talking about roles and responsibilities, which is, of course, one of the ingredients of a team, but does not necessarily formulate a team. So the moment you say, that's not my job, that's somebody else's work that you're talking about, I think you're talking to the wrong person, the sponsor would know immediately it's not a team. Had it been a team, you would actually say something like this. Yeah, all right, I'll come back to you. I'm surprised that you have this kind of a suggestion and this kind of observation about this particular project. I will find details and I'll come back to you. Let me go back to my team and figure it out. So even if it's not your own job, you don't actually let the door open right this way. You don't need to be talking to me. That's his department, right? That's his job. The moment you do that, you don't have a team, even though you're working for a common objective and working together, and you have the roles and responsibilities. That is what we need to understand. We really have to cut through the chaff to really understand what team is. Otherwise, we can talk about team building exercises. We can go offsite, do camping trips, do a lot of river rafting, paintball to build a team. But if we are not able to create something known as mutual accountability, you don't have a team. You see, I grew up as a sibling, right? And my sister, she had to put up a lot with me because I was one of the most naughty kids you can imagine. If you've seen the most naughty person, multiply it about 100 times, and that's me when I was a child, right? Don't go by my disposition right now. I was the naughtiest person. I was about to be rusticated 3 times. I'm not proud about it, but I was to be rusticated 3 times from my hostel. They never found enough proof I was good at planning even then. What used to happen is that neighbors, friends, my sister's friends would actually come and complain to my home. And the first person to open the door would be my sister. And they would actually talk to her that, hey, you know, your brother, he did this, he broke that, and he did this, he beat up my kid, and things like that. A lot of complaints. And guess what my sister did? I'm sure there must be a reason why this happened. I'll talk to him. She never said, hey, there he is, sitting, hiding behind that chair, go pick him up. No, she would never do that. Even though most of our growing up life, we never saw eye to eye. My sister and I, we never saw eye to eye. But the reason she had this accountability is because she felt accountable and responsible for me and my upbringing. She could scream at me, but she would not allow anybody else to scream on me. It was her duty. So the point is, yes, that is called mutual accountability. That is why in family, in a functional family, you'll end up having mutual accountability. And they become pretty strong in their bonding. They can work very well together. They have distribution of work, but at the same time, every home, even the dysfunctional ones, have a lot of responsibility distribution. But how they do it? The lack of mutual accountability is exactly what is the problem with that particular family. They never grow up to be a team. Do functional families or functional teams, effective teams, do they have difference of opinion? Of course, all the time. But that is done for the mutual benefit of the project, for the work that you're involved in, right? So that everybody gets into an alignment. But what is most prominent among all effective teams is mutual accountability. So the next time that you think of creating a good team, an effective team, think of mutual accountability. Whenever you select a good game, a good exercise, a good initiative, which could be termed as a team building initiative or a team building exercise, make sure that it actually also generates mutual accountability. That is the key of building up a team. But why do we need to develop a team? How do we develop a team? What are the best methods to develop mutual accountability? Well, that's the matter of subsequent videos. And I'm sure you're going to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on those particular videos. Keep it in mind, when you have to build a team, you need to have mutual accountability. Other than that, it's all lip service. This is Manish Ujay from PM Pulse, bringing to you yet another power-packed episode on PM Ninja video series. We talk about practical and effective and applicable project management. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, and please leave a comment. If you have any suggestions, any pointers, any experiences that you want to share when it comes to team building, please go ahead and put it in the comment section. It'll be fantastic, awesome, in fact, to interact with you. Thank you.